and I'm a songwriter from London. So it all came about very unexpectedly. I got signed in 2012 and my publisher John Saunderson decided to send me on a writing camp, and it was something I was very excited about. I'd never been abroad to work before. I was a newly signed writer, and he sent me to a writing camp called Depop, which is actually very, very famous Asian songwriting camp. It's very prolific and it's just the most amazing experience for any writer to be involved in that camp. It's hosted by John and Lotte Argard, and they're the most wonderful hosts. And it was there that I started working alongside SM Entertainment, and in particular Hannah Cho, who was, I'd say, tough because she made you rewrite a verse and a chorus 1,000 times until it was right. But it was definitely the right learning experience, to know that you can do it better and you can improve on what you're doing. And the best way to learn, obviously, is to try it and try it and try it again. So it was there that I had my first taste of Korean music. We had to write for all the artists at the time that were signed to SM, and it was just the most wonderful thing for a new writer to be able to be involved in. And it was there that I actually learnt my craft, and from then on I had the bug for it, and I looked at all the music videos and I followed both Korean and Japanese music because it was something that I felt that I could be good at and something that I was passionate about. So really it was there, it was my first experience at the Depop writing camp that really gave me the bug for writing for the Asian market. To choose a favourite, that's a difficult one because every single song I get placed with an artist is such a big thing and such a huge achievement for me that I don't ever get bored of it. If I was going to say a moment in my writing career for Asia that really stood out for me, it would probably be the Girls Generation one. It was one of the groups that I had been dying to write for such a long time, and it was actually a day after I got married. I got an email from Hide Nakamura, who actually is a good friend. He's a competitive publisher, but we work very, very closely together. He actually made my dreams come true because, like I said, the day after I got married, he sent me an email to tell me that he had got me a cut with Girls Generation, and that song was Indestructible. And that song for me was just the icing on the cake. It did so well, and it won an award, a gold disc award for the best song of the year. So it was a very, very, very special song for me, and definitely up there with one of my favourites. Believe it or not, I don't actually directly work with the artists. The songs I write are constructed either here in London, or I've worked in Europe, like Sweden and Norway and Denmark, writing for the artists in Korea and Japan and other territories. And it's actually down to the sub-publishers. I've got loads of fantastic sub-publishers, but for the Korean and the Japanese markets, we're looked after by Sony. And it's their job to send us the briefs as writers. So the brief would be, hey, we're looking for a song for this artist, this is the style of song we're looking for, and references, and it's quite detailed, and there's a lot of stuff in there that we need to follow in order to pitch the songs. So it's really down to my sub-publishers to be able to get the songs to the artist, and then once they choose the songs, once it leaves me, I have nothing to do with it. It then gets translated into the language, whether it be Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin. So yeah, once I write the songs, it then takes its own journey to the artist. So it's kind of like a lottery, you write a song and you kind of write it for a particular artist, but it can end up with a different artist. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the song is there to be sung, and whoever sings it and does a fantastic job with the song, then I'm happy. Challenges through the creative process. I guess I would say sometimes it's just a case of timing, because when we get sent the briefs, sometimes they need the song within 24 hours or they need a song within 3 days. And it's more a case of trying to get the producer to mix the song within the time frame, because if you miss the deadline, then you miss the project. So I would say I'm quite lucky because I seem to be full of ideas, so I don't seem to have a problem with the creative process. But I would say that the timing sometimes is an issue with trying to, tally everything up, getting the song written, recorded, mixed, and sent back to the sub-publishers. Bearing in mind as well the time difference. So if a song isn't going to be ready till this afternoon, it might be too late when I'm sending it over to Asia, because obviously there's so many hours ahead of us. So there's a lot of things to take into account when we're pitching the songs. But I would say generally, as far as being creative, it's life experiences that make you creative, and you do need to have a lot of empathy as a writer. So you need to be able to write about any given situation, whether you've experienced it or not. So that is obviously a key trait to being a songwriter, is being able to write about anything and make it real. Inspiration for the songs. When it comes to writing a song, there's loads of different ways you can do that. You can write a song with just a guitar, like a kind of acoustic start to a song, or sometimes people might send me instrumentals, which is kind of ready-made piece of music, and then that way I have to top line it. So top lining is lyrics and melody. I would say when someone sends me an instrumental, as soon as I hear it, I can usually hear this would be great for this artist or this artist. And also the music dictates, like if I hear a piece of music, I'd normally hear it's a sad song, it's a happy song, it's a fun song. So sometimes the instrumentals are better in kind of giving me some idea as to where I'm going to go with the song, both melodically and lyrically. With the guitar, you kind of start completely from scratch, so it's your decision. I might have a project that I'm looking for a song for, so I might work with a colleague who plays the guitar and say, listen, I'm looking for something this tempo, I want it to be about this kind of concept, and together we will come up with an idea from scratch for a particular artist. So really I think the inspiration comes from the minute you start writing a song. So yeah, that's how it happens for me anyway. Some advice for aspiring songwriters is to say, know your strengths and study the markets that you really want to be successful in. And more importantly than that is to always grow and try and be better, be a better songwriter. Never think that you're good enough, because no one is ever good enough. Everyone can always be one step ahead better. And so the way to look at it is, if you write a song and you think, oh my God, this is the greatest song in the world, try and write the next one even better than that. And that's the only advice I could say, is to, just become stronger at what you do and don't give up. The most important thing, do not give up, because, every songwriter has had a story of struggle and trying to make it in the business. I've been there as well. It took me a long time to get to this point of, being good at something. So I'd say don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. I'd say K-pop music is very much on par with what we're doing over here in the UK, in Europe, in America. Trend-wise, we seem to be doing the same thing. So I would say there is quite a major difference between K-pop and J-pop music. I'd say that K-pop is definitely very much with what's going on right now over here. So I'd say there really is very, very little difference as far as the movement for music for both South Korea and for over here. I'm always working on different projects. There's a few things going on right now, but the key to being a very, very good songwriter in Asia is confidentiality. So it means, as difficult it is for me, because I love to shout about everything, is to keep things very, very, very quiet until it's actually released. It's just a sign of respect for the label and obviously our publishers, because our publishers carry the reputation through us. So it's really, really important to not give away too much. So unfortunately I can't tell you too much, but I would definitely keep you up to date as and when things happen. So yeah, for now I've got to keep it very hush hush, I'm sorry. I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to my interview through hellokpop, and thank you so much to hellokpop for taking an interest in me and my music. It's a fantastic website. It's definitely very, very much up to date on what is going on the music scene, so everybody should stay tuned because it's A1.